So for those of you who used last night's game plan, you should have had a phenomenal green day. I made it very clear if you're seeing a red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation at the 598 level on the SPY, you're going to want to be buying put options. Once SPY formed a red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation at that overall level, it was a massive sell-off. In terms of our trading day, I got to give a big shout out to G-Roar. It ended up going 5 for 5 on the day with multiple 100% profit returns on SPY. I'm going to be breaking down the trades that we ended up making on the overall day towards the end of this video. First things first, we're going to be getting straight into the money-making information. So in terms of tonight's game plan, the daily chart pattern in formation is now back. So in terms of the daily chart pattern, I went back throughout the chart history and I have noticed that we have many red daily candlesticks in a row. And in terms of the daily chart pattern that I'm seeing, it can potentially be one more red daily candlestick on the SPY, especially if we are gapping down or simply just turning the previous closing price into a resistance level, right? Or even if we do gap up, there's going to be a good level to buy put options. Like I'd explained to you yesterday, I'm going to give you the new updated level, right? Now, another pattern that I'm seeing in terms of this daily chart candlestick, this is what I want to break down. So if the SPY gaps down and we open up lower than we previously closed, there will be an opportunity for puts, likely towards the open if we're towards the previous day lows, and there will be an opportunity for calls at an oversold level based off the overall daily chart pattern. Now, in terms of another pattern that I'm seeing, if the SPY gaps up, it's going to try to be overall bullish, but there will be a level for puts. And in terms of the make or break, if we are opening up flat, make or break is going to be the previous day lows, which is going to be the previous closing price, 585, right? And if we open up with a big gap up heading into tomorrow, it's going to be focused on put options at a major resistance level and then calls towards lower break and retest levels. So based off the daily chart pattern, that's the information that I've provided for you. Now, in terms of the levels with that information, let's get straight into it, man. So in terms of the overall levels, this is what I want you to be aware of, man. The levels for put options, if we are gapping up, is going to be the breakdown and retest. We had some support right here towards 590 to 590.50. You can also keep an eye on 589.50, right? So in between this zone of the 589s to 590, in between that zone, if you're seeing a red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation, right? Just like this, remember what I told you in terms of last night's video? I told you 598, 599 is where you're going to want to be buying put options. There was a red, green, red, lower highs, previous support in the pre-market, cracks, that's a breakdown. This is a retest. The high is a retest, retest, red, green, red, bearish overall 30-minute pattern, sells off. Told you to play puts at that overall level. If you use the information, you could have a phenomenal green day. So looking to use that same overall strategy at a lower zone. And the zone's going to be 589 to 590, breakdown and retest. We had the breakdown. Now if we retest, ideally with a gap up, going to be interested in buying put options if we're seeing red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmations or red bearish patterns. Now, if we are gapping up, there's going to be levels for calls. So in terms of one of the levels for calls, if previous closing price is reacting bullish on a gap up, I'll be looking for a gap close reversal to be buying calls at 585. In terms of break and retest levels, if we are gapping up or reacting bullish at the previous closing price, I'll be keeping an eye on the following break and retest levels. 586 to 586.30 is pre-market resistance, right? The SPY is attempting to have a small gap down here. If we break above 586.30, drop back down and retest with bullish, green bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations, going to be buying call options at that level. And then the highest level I would consider calls would be towards that 587 overall range. And then the next level above that, in terms of just a price ladder, is 588. Next level above that is 589 to 590, which is going to be that put zone. Now, if the SPY, for the SPY to react bearish at the lower levels, this is what we would need to see happen, right? So if we're opening up flat, the previous closing price, 585, is make or break. If it breaks down, spikes back up, forms resistance, forms lower highs, then the SPY is going to start to sell off. Another thing to note is if we do end up gapping down, the SPY is likely going to drop first for puts and then recover later for calls. So if 585 is reacting bearish in terms of the profit targets, where we will be on pace to drop, right? So if you're seeing 585 react bearish, you can attempt puts in between that 584 to 585 overall zone. In terms of the profit targets, this is what I want you to understand. 582 would be the first profit target. There is a gap that is waiting to fill below at 582. This is a very oversold gap where the SPY can potentially have a reversal. If throughout any period of the day you are seeing bullish reactions, bullish confirmations at 582, right? So if we dropped under 582 and there was no bullish reactions, if we spike back up and there's bullish confirmations at the level, buy the fucking calls. 582 is a key level of interest to watch for a gap close reversal. But if we do gap down, it likely won't be the best level to be buying call options. If we're having a nice gap down, the best levels are going to be the more oversold levels. In terms of the oversold levels that I have for you that are more oversold, 581, and then one of the true best levels would be this 578.80. That would be a level where I would auto buy calls, right? So in terms of the gap down, is going to be a little tricky to find the exact bottom, but 578.80 is a strong auto buy level along with 576. Very unlikely we would drop that low, but 578.80 would be phenomenal. And then again, if we're seeing bullish confirmations at 581 or 582, interesting calls there, right? So if we're open up flat or if we're gapping down, but ideally if we're gapping down, you could try puts out the gate with the bearish 30-minute confirmations. So that is the game plan heading into tomorrow, man. Very short, very simple, very sweet. It should work out phenomenal. I'm telling you, man, based off of the daily chart foundation and how we are currently setting up with all these patterns, right? And then this is what I was referring to where you see right here, SPY has this gap down. We had this gap down from 613, and then we have these like 6 red 30-minute, 6 red daily candlesticks, right? Very similar pattern right here where the SPY gap down right here, and we had 7 in a row. So I'm telling you, if that previous closing price reacts bearish heading into tomorrow, you're going to want to be buying puts for that 7th overall red day in a row, right? So just keep in mind, that's another pattern that I was seeing throughout the history. So that's the game plan. I'm telling you, if you use this information and you apply the 30-minute confirmations that I've been teaching you when I recap the trades in terms of the strategies that we're using from a technical point of view, if you apply that with your intuition, you should have a phenomenal green day and close out the week very, very strong. So that's the game plan, man. And this is a very high confidence game plan because like I said, I'm seeing multiple daily chart patterns and I like the levels that we're at. This is going to be a phenomenal overall green day. Now, let's get into the trades, man. So in terms of the trades, man, let's get straight into it. As you can see, you get an updated, market open game plan with key levels of interest of zones to avoid, where to go long, where to go short, where to buy calls, where to buy puts, right? So in terms of the overall game plan, the game plan was to go short as long as we're staying below 597. And I told you in terms of last night's video, 598 reacts bearish, going to be buying puts, right? Now with that being said, in terms of the overall game plan, man, let's get into the trades. So in terms of the trades, the first trade was at market open, 9:32 a.m. We ended up buying 317.50 Tesla calls for 68 cents a contract. So we mainly trade SPY and SPX 0-date options. Now, if we do see cheap contracts that are not 0 dates on stocks, we are willing to get in on those at times, right? So it's not just SPY and SPX, but that's mainly what we trade, right? But in terms of this overall trade, we ended up getting in on Tesla calls at 68 cents a contract. So as you can see right here, in terms of these overall Tesla calls, this is where we ended up getting in. We got in right here in just 2 minutes. These calls went from 60 cents right here all the way to 90 cents. So you could have made a 50% profit return in 3 single minutes. Look at this. The trade was literally consolidating for 3 minutes, and then within a minute, the contracts went up 50%. And I tell you all the time, make sure you set your profit stops when you were up 15%. So if the trade quickly goes against you, you get stopped out for overall profit. And if the trade keeps on going within your favor, you move the profit stops up higher to protect your overall profits. So that was the first overall win on the day. Now, in terms of the second win, it was at 9:40 a.m. So in terms of 9:40 a.m., we ended up buying 592 SPY puts for 68 cents a contract. So if you go to 592 SPY puts, this is where we ended up getting in on these overall puts. As you can see, we ended up getting in literally towards the exact lows on these 592 SPY puts, right? So in terms of 592 SPY puts, these fucking ran like fucking crazy, man. These literally ran insane, man. This was a multiple 100% profit return that you could have had on this overall trade at the speed of fucking light, man. That was a crazy fucking trade. Now, in terms of the next trade, at 9:51 a.m., we ended up getting in on 589 SPY puts. So in terms of 589 SPY puts, this is where we ended up getting in on the overall puts. So as you can see right here at 9:51 a.m., 589 SPY puts for 62 cents a contract. These ended up going from 60 to 200 within fucking minutes, within 10 singular minutes, man. It's fucking insane what you can do with options, man. Now, in terms of the next fucking win, you're going to see right here, we ended up getting in on 598 SPY calls for 67 cents a contract. So in terms of this overall trade, as you can see right here, if you go to 598 SPY calls and you go to 10:22 a.m., this is where we ended up getting in on the overall trade. We got in towards the low of this overall candle, and as soon as we got in, this was one of the biggest volume spikes on the day, and then a minute later, this went all the way to 120 for another fucking win. That was a 100% win within 2 single minutes. And then in terms of the final trade, 585 SPY puts for 48 cents a contract. So if you go to 585 SPY puts right here, this is where we ended up getting in on this overall trade. So in terms of the entry, it was towards the peak, but we ended up adding to a loser in this specific situation, which is something that we rarely do. But if it does make sense, instead of just buying a different strike, we'll stick with the strike and add to the overall loss. So we ended up adding, as you can see, adding into the 30-cent range, adding into the 27-cent range, and that was for another win, selling at the 51 cents a contract, right? Getting in towards the peak and then adding towards the lows, and then selling at the exact peak. So that right there is what 5 for 5 looks like, breaking down the full trades, the full plays, man. It was a phenomenal fucking day, man. So big shout out to Giro for absolutely crushing it. In terms of my own personal trading, I decided to wait until the power hour, and I had a loss on calls. The 30-minute chart was telling me to try calls, and it simply just did not work out. So those were the trades that we ended up making. For those of you who are serious about trading alongside us, it's going to be the first link down below within the description. You're going to see every single day, man, there is multiple 100% profit returns that you can take advantage of. We have the highest percentage win rate in green to red overall ratio on our trading days that you're ever going to see in terms of trading 0-date far out of the money option contracts. Fridays are going to be the best days to be trading with us because I'm telling you, we're going to be looking at stocks as well. Many of the stocks that are on our radar, they're going to have 0 dates expiring tomorrow. So I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a phenomenal day heading into tomorrow. I mean, in terms of today, we fucking crushed it. And then yesterday, we fucking crushed it as well. I mean, like I said, man, these overall trades are fucking crazy. The puts went fucking insane, back to back. Like, within the first 30 minutes, you could have just called it a day. Both of those puts went up multiple 100% profit returns within the span of less than 20 minutes on both strikes, man. It's crazy what you can do with options, man. Like I said, we could have just got 592 puts and called it, but 10 minutes later, there was another win, another trading opportunity to buy puts at a different strike, and both of the strikes went up multiple 100% profit returns within minutes. So you really have to ask yourself, who do you know is consistently doing this, man? Like consistently making multiple 100% profit returns within the span of minutes. And that was at market open within minutes, man. It's fucking crazy, man. So with that being said, if you want to trade alongside us, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. What we do is we trade far out of the money 0-day options contracts. We're known for selling deep in the money for the biggest percentage gains. Very, very cheap, very, very low risk. And, there's many trades every single day. There's the market open session, the middle of the day session, and the power hour trading session. Power hour trading session, we focus on SPX when it's below ideally 100 a contract, right around 50 cents, right around 50 a contract. And in that particular situation, we're literally risking 50 to make, 200 to 500, sometimes over 1,000 on the contract, right? SPX gives you the biggest percentage gains with the cheapest low risk, and we have the highest win rate in the game trading it. So if you want to trade alongside us, it's the first link down below within the description, and you gain access to a real-time 0-date options trading alert system where you can print money and trade alongside us and print at the speed of fucking light, man. Like I said, this is a real-time alert system, man. You get access to the entire strike, the entry, the option quote prices moving in real time, where to add, so we mainly add to winners to increase the winnings, where to set the profit stops. We set the profit stops to ensure that we don't go green to red when we're green, ideally when we're up 15% to protect the profits. We move the profit stops up higher to ensure that we don't get back the bulk of our gains if the market has a move against us. And we don't set stop losses. These contracts are so cheap, so low risk, that we tell people, if you can't afford to risk 62 cents on a contract to double it, then just don't fucking trade. Like, if you're that broke, just don't fucking trade. Trading's not for you in that sense, right? Unless you just want to gain experience and practice, that's completely fine. But the point is, man, you don't need a stop loss on cheap, far out of the money option 0-8 contracts. You don't need a stop loss in this particular situation. They're very cheap, they're very low risk. Our max risk per trade is what we put into the contracts, our R multiple. So another difference is, in terms of far out of the money option contracts, you can put in your max risk per trade into the contracts, and the most you lose is what you put into the contracts, and they're very cheap and low risk, and they give you the biggest percentage gains. So you can just let the trade expire worthless and go to zero, and the most you lose is where you would have been stopped out at, basically, right? And we have the entire day for the trade to go green, and we have the entire day for the trade to go in the money as well for the biggest percentage gains. Once the trade is green, we set the profit stops, right? So basically, we focus on trading the trend. I mean, as you can see in terms of the morning trades, man, the morning trades were nothing but fucking puts. And I told you very, very specifically, it's written in the fucking title. Who do you know is saying in the title, buy puts at 598, a day before the market opens, and it's the exact high of day. And then we have G-Roar calling out the plays in real fucking time. G-Roar, he's a multi-millionaire, man. Like, in terms of the results, you ain't going to find anything like this, man. In terms of this amount of wins, this amount of trades, a real-time system, this is fucking insane, man. There's nothing out there like this on the fucking planet, man. Like I said, it's unlimited fucking printing. It's unlimited fucking winning, non-fucking stop, man. So, this is what it looks like to trade the trend. Fucking the contracts just go up 1,000% plus, 1,000% plus. You can leave fucking runners. It's fucking crazy. We say it all the time. This is the beauty of trading the trend. The dead plays. Look at this. The trade we got in here is from 60, went to 200, and then it went to 9 cents, and then it went to 400. That happens all the time. This is the beauty of trading the trend. This trade went from 9 cents to fucking 400. Do you understand? That's more than 4,200%. Where are you going to be able to do that? Where can you risk 9 cents to make 400? Where can you risk $9 to make $400 on a fucking contract, man? This is what I'm saying. This is the best type of trading style you can optimize for. If you want to trade with real money, there's really no other way to make it, man. Like, think about it. You don't have a lot of options, especially if you have a small account. There's not many options. You're going to need to trade with a cash account. And in terms of an asset class, you have to trade options. If you want to grow a small account, the only way to really do it is to trade options. And far out of the money options are the best contracts to be day trading. They are cheap, they are low risk, and they give you the biggest percentage gains. We have the highest win rate in the game doing this, and they give you a very strong foundation where you don't need a high win rate to be successful. If you can make a 1,000% gain, you can have 9 losses in a row. That means with that foundation, you can be successful with a 10% win rate. You understand? Like, it's possible. We can hit 1,000% gains every single week. So if we have a 1,000% gain every single week, on that same week, we could have 9 consecutive losses in a row and still be profitable. So you just have to understand, you have to keep in mind, we add to winners. We add to winners and set profit stops. It's like if you add to a winner and set a profit stop, it's like a money glitch where basically you're winning a lot more and the profit stop protects your new average cost. It's fucking amazing, man. Adding to fucking winners. So like I said, it's a very strategic 0-8 options trade alert system that you can gain access to, man. So is the first link down below within the description if you want to trade alongside us. I'm telling you, man, we have a phenomenal community and you can surround yourself inside of our secured private organization, man. So it's the first link down below. If you do want to join us, you gain access to our community. You gain access to our secured private organization. You gain access to our real-time 0-8 options trading alert system. You gain access to our trades, not just buy and sell alerts. This is a strategic system that is designed to help you learn how to trade alongside us and also to make you money. There's many ways that you can use a trading system to your advantage. You can use it as a confirmation and confluence with your overall trade. If we're bullish, then you can go bullish as well if you agree with it, right? I mean, we never really encourage people to just blindly follow every single trade. You should be learning how to trade alongside us as you're gaining experience. And then you should really start to have an eye for it in terms of what trades you want to take. But like I said, the system does work, and you can follow the overall system and make money from it. You can find an edge within the system and make money from it, man. It's crazy what you can do, man. So like I said, the testimonials, the results, everything is speaking for themselves. We have an amazing community. It's the first link down below within the description if you do want to trade alongside us and join us. And I'm telling you, man, like, it's crazy what you can do. I mean, G-Word is literally risking 5,000 on 150 contracts to make 7,600, $2,300 prop. Like, in terms of the overall gains in results, like, it's fucking crazy what you can do, man. Like, look at this, 5 for 5. And in terms of the overall profit, $14,000 profit, breaking down every single trade in real fucking time. So like I said, man, this is a very strategic money-making system. And if you join this community, you're going to see for yourself that there's really nothing else out there that's like this, man. And you're really going to see what 10 years of plus trading experience looks like. You know, because you got to be aware, there's a lot of people that say that. But in terms of people who actually have it, well, comparison's the thief of joy, man. Because I'm telling you, if people come in here and they see how we trade and they compare us to other people, they're going to be like, dude, these people actually know what the fuck they're doing, and they print nonstop and it works. So it's like, I'm telling you, man, if you want to experience something real and open yourself up to the light, it's the first link down below within the description, man. It's unlimited fucking winning. It's unlimited fucking printing. We have a great community. There's many people in here who are consistently making $500 to $1,000 a day. We have many members. We have hundreds of members who've been with us now for nearly 2 years. They haven't left the program because it works. They gain a lot of value from the overall trade alert system, from the overall, community as well. I mean, you don't have to use the community if you don't want it. That's completely fine. We have a lot of traders, they don't even use the community. They just focus on the trading and keep things professional, right? So it's the first link down below within the description. If you want to trade alongside us and gain access, I can assure you, man, we are going to absolutely crush it heading into tomorrow. We are going to finish this week very, very strong within the green. So, I mean, if you followed last night's game plan, I had hoped that you made money on those puts, playing puts at market open. Should have made a couple $100s, if not thousands of dollars. It was the exact high of day. The play fucking printed like crazy. Like I said, I mean, we take advantage of all this stuff. Like, we had 2 plays on puts that went up thousands of percents. Like, you could have made easily with the game plan and with our trades easily hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, man. We have many small accounts in here as well. It's a phenomenal investment and it's very, very affordable. And it's the first link down below within the description. It's at a very, very fair price point as well. So if you want to trade alongside us and start printing at the speed of fucking light, it's the first link down below within the description. I will see you guys tomorrow within the chat. I can assure you, man, we are going to close out this week very, very strong within the green. It is going to be nonstop printing. It is going to be printing at the speed of fucking light, man. Like, let's be fucking real, man. Who the fuck do you know is doing this every single fucking day? Just unlimited fucking winning, non-fucking stop winning, real-time zero-date options trading alert system, trading far out of the money zero-date option contracts. When it comes to that overall space and niche, I can assure you, you are not going to find another trader, another team out there that is getting better results than us. Like I said, the results speak for themselves. Everything is alerted. You can see it timestamped. And it's just unlimited fucking winning, and it's unlimited fucking printing, non-fucking stop at the speed of fucking light. So if you want to make money and trade alongside people within this niche with 10 years plus of experience who are winning non-fucking stop, like I said, G-Word's a multimillionaire, I'd strongly recommend that you give this a try. Our format is not going to work out for everyone, and that's completely fine. But at the end of the day, it is working for hundreds of traders, and it's fucking getting results, non-fucking stop. And you can gain a lot if you apply yourself to this. So if you figure out a way how to apply yourself to a zero-date options trading alert system, you can gain a lot of experience as well, along with just trading with people in the community, just trading alongside us as well. You start to gain a lot of experience. There's lots of ways you can become a better trader by using a strategic system and by having a community and a network to trade alongside with as well. There's many multimillionaire traders as well that are inside of Team Roar. There's many traders, they don't even use the community. Like I said, they just use the system to their overall advantage. A lot of traders, they like keeping to themselves. They like keeping private. A lot of people outgrow communities and networks, and they just want to focus on themselves. And in terms of that situation, they might be looking at a real-time zero-day option strain alert system to find ways to benefit with their overall confirmation and confluence. Like I said, man, if you find the right community and the right overall alert system, you can gain a lot out of it. And that's why a lot of people are sticking with us consistency. Like in terms of our retention rate, it's above 90%. Only 10% of our customers leave in terms of every single month. 90% choose to stay. And the reason why that is, we have something that actually works, and there's a lot of value and there's a lot of experience within here, right? So it's the first link down below in the description if you would like to try it out. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow within the chat tomorrow.